This is a shoe that I wanted to love so badly. I desperately waited for it and I bought it as soon as it came out and put it on my feet straight away. I was a massive fan of its predecessors, but is it all I dreamed it'd be? Not quite. So before I get started today, I bought this shoe with my own money. My thoughts are my own, so take it with a grain of salt. And just to put it in perspective, I'm a 90 kilo guy who runs a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about the shoe. Now, this is marketed as Asics Daily Trainer, and it's supposed to be your do everything training partner. So faster workouts through to long runs, supposed to be able to cover that whole gamut. And previous iterations of the shoe were exactly that. They were really exciting, game-changing sort of shoe. So does this, the Novablast 5, live up to the hype? People are calling it the little brother of the Superblast, which a lot of people are naming their best shoe overall. So some major design features of this iteration were a completely redesigned midsole. So if we just chuck up, I've got a previous version of the Novablast here, which is, I think this was a 3, and this was one of my favorite shoes. I loved this shoe. It's become a lawn mowing shoe now, as you can see, but they've completely redesigned it, completely new shape midsole, new foam in the midsole there. So one of the key things about this shoe, the original, was that they were using a standard foam, but they'd cut lots out, they'd made modifications to the way the sole was constructed and used the geometry to create bounce and to create a lightweight shoe. Whereas with this one, they've got a new foam, they've got a new compound in there, so they can have a more typical shaped midsole without increasing the weight. So the question is, does it work for what we're trying to achieve with the Novablast? Another thing that they're marketing big time with this shoe is that it's environmentally friendly. You can even see it in there on the insole. And one of the things that they talked about was that this would be a shoe that suits more people because it's got more stability in the midsole because of that change in design and change in foam. So just some quick stats. Got a stack height of 41.5 millimeters in the heel, 33.5 in the forefoot for an 8 mil drop overall, 290 grams in my 11.5. So it's a very light shoe. How did I intend to use this? Well, I really wanted this for workouts. I wanted a shoe that complemented, I'll just see if I can find it, my Asics Metaspeed Sky, sort of a training partner to that. So I could do my fast workouts and some tempo runs in this sort of thing and save this guy here for race day. I was so excited by my first run in this shoe. Here's what I thought of it. Let's just take a minute to talk about these shoes and just how good they are. So that's them. Beautiful colorway, by the way. Very, very vibrant, nice. I was really excited about these. I've had one pair of Novablast before. I think I had the Novablast 3s, but I always avoided them initially because you'll notice the geometric sort of shapes on the side. They were initially on the Novablast because they had an older technology foam in them and they used those geometric cutouts. They were quite deep. And what happened was the foam compressed into those cutouts, and that's how you got a softer feeling shoe that was really bouncy in the forefoot. But what that meant was that that compression was really unpredictable, and especially in someone who's a bit bigger like me, that was just a recipe for falling off the side of the shoe and rolling your ankle. So I didn't go near it until the Novablast 3 when I thought I was ready for it. I thought I'd done enough strength work in the lower leg to be able to handle it, and I did. But these, they've updated the foam for the first time. This is they've now got what's called FF Blast Max in it. And it's a softer foam, but it's a more responsive foam, it's a more updated foam. So these geometric patterns, they're just there for decorative, to keep that Novablast feel about the shoe, just to make it look like a Novablast, because that's kind of iconic. There's no need for those whatsoever. This shoe just bounces and rolls beautifully. First 500 meters when I go out there, there's no ground contact feel. It's that cushiony, there's no slap. It's just, you just sink into the shoe and then softly roll and then push off. It's not quite super shoe feels, but you can tell that they're learning from their super shoes and putting that technology into this thing. Because you've got that pop and that bounce and that want to go in this. It's such a fun shoe to run in. I definitely won't be running recovery days in it because it really propels you forward and you just want to get the legs ticking over in them. So these will be great for the threshold days. Today's run was really, really good fun. Interesting design feature. The tongue, it's almost like a neoprene, so a bit like a wetsuit material, and then you've got these two little bits of foam where the laces tend to go. So that's not like where you tighten your laces. So that's nice and soft there, but then it's this really thin neoprene that stretches really well. So very, very nice and very comfortable tongue. You feel very locked into this shoe. So considering the Novablast, when it first came out, was one of the most unstable shoes on the market, and I stayed away from it, this is just a really stable but fun shoe. That's just my first impressions. I'm so excited about it. I had to record it and had to tell you all about it. Such a fun shoe. And gee, it looks pretty too. Doesn't that look pretty? Now, what's my actual use been so far? Well, things changed really, really dramatically and really, really quickly. After my second run, I said this. Not as good on the track. They're bouncy, but the rubber in the track, the softness in the track, they respond better to concrete, I think. So, yeah, interesting to note. And then pretty much straight away, I took this shoe away for a week because it's marketed as a do-it-all sort of trainer, and I thought that's what it could be. I took one shoe because that's all I could fit because we were packing it for the whole family in one suitcase. I ran on a variety of surfaces, and honestly, by the end of that week, I absolutely hated the shoe. It felt squishy, no returns, and I thought it was really hard to find a place in my rotation for it. I've now done about 117 Ks in it, so I have forced it in there and tried to find ways to run with it, and I'm starting to come around to it and see some of the benefits of it, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So what's the wear and tear like? Well, after 100 Ks, it still looks pretty much brand new. So if we have a look at the outsole, there's very minimal change there. This is a high scuff area for me anyway, so you can see some of those ridges are starting to go down, but there's very little wear and tear on that shoe. Still looks fairly brand new. My other high wear point is down here. Now that's just for me, that's a high wear point, but you can see very little wear on that. When we look at the midsole, it is starting to get some lines and starting to get some compression grooves, but really, and some of the exposed foam down the bottom here is starting to get eaten up just a little bit. But really, like after 117 Ks for a shoe to still look like this, tells you that it's probably going to go the distance. It's going to last a fairly long time. The upper still looks brand new. Like I said, I've taken this on all sorts of terrains. These red marks here, that's from running on the rubber track. But like I say, it still looks brand new after 100 Ks. So if you're looking for a shoe that's going to last you a while and put in a lot of Ks, I think this is a good one. In terms of the fit and feel, well, when we have a look at it from top down, it was a lot wider than I expected. So I'm going to just compare it to the previous version. So both of those are the same size shoe. There's a lot more volume in the upper in this one. This one's a fairly compact upper, fairly tight around the toe box and everything, whereas there's just this extra material here, and you can feel that starting to bunch up when you're going for a run in this shoe. But realistically, it's generally true to size. I'm an 11.5 and I'm fairly comfortable in this shoe. The lacing, because there's that extra volume in the upper, you do need to tighten the laces a fair bit, and you get that little bit of bunching here with this material, but it is, again, Asics set out to clearly try and capture more of the market with this shoe. They didn't want to just be niche for experienced fast runners, so this gives a bit more of a well-rounded fit for people with wider feet and wider splay areas in the toe box. One of the most amazing things about this shoe is the tongue. I absolutely love it. Now, I'm not a fan of a thick tongue. Being in far north Queensland, I want a really thin tongue. Now, this one's made of neoprene, got some beautiful ventilation and speed holes there, but then there where we do lace up and tighten our laces, it's got some nice strategic patterning, but otherwise it's really thin. So it's just got the strategic cushioning in the tongue, and then the rest of the time it's really thin, really breathable, attached down the side there, so it fits really snugly against your foot, and you get a really good lockdown and feel in it. Is it fit for purpose? Well, for me, no. I don't get any energy return from the sole whatsoever, other than those first two runs I did. And no bounce back whatsoever. It's a really squishy, soft jogging shoe. And that's how I treat it now. That's the place that I've found for it in my rotation. So if I was looking for a comfy jogging shoe, I'd be really happy with this, but I wasn't. I was looking for that exciting Novablast feel. It's just not a Novablast. And it's really funny. It surprised me more than any other shoe has. I've probably titled this video something clickbaity like A Tale of Two Shoes or something, because that's really what it was. First run, bouncy, beautiful, and it really did felt like the training companion to this guy, what I was looking for. But I felt like I was getting a similar feel, and I was excited by that. That's what I wanted, but it just didn't last. Within a week, that feeling had gone, and this thing was just mush. It literally, my foot sinks into the shoe, and then I feel like I'm literally dragging my leg through to the next step. I feel like I've got to work really, really hard to move through my gait cycle in this shoe. It's cushioned, which is great, but it's too soft. It doesn't give me anything to go off with and spring off with. So yeah, bit disappointing, especially considering what I wanted to use it for. Who should buy this shoe? Well, if you're in the market for a really soft, really comfy cushioned shoe, this is a good shoe. Okay, it's going to last a long time and it's going to be comfy, and it is quite lightweight. So it could be an alternative to a Nimbus or something like that, a big, chunky, comfy shoe that's really good for jogging, but is quite heavy, because this is really, really light. How am I going to use it moving forward? Well, like I said, I've really struggled to find a place for it in the rotation, but what I am using it for, and it's going to last being there for a long time because I only run it like once a week, is it's that second daily trainer. So when I do 2 easy runs in a row, the first one might be a recovery run, and then the next one might be a little bit steadier. It's only really got that one short run a week in the rotation. I won't use it for workout days at all. It's just, it doesn't have any sort of energy return. I really feel like I'm dragging and working myself and working too hard to get the legs ticking over in it. It's really funny because it's got this element of okayness to it. It's a good shoe, like it's comfy for jogging, but I've got a better jogging shoe. Possibly got enough stack and a lot of comfort and enough squish for a long run, but this ticks the legs over better, so this does something better. It's probably light enough for a workout, but this is snappier and just as light, so I'm going to pick this for a workout every time. I think Asics have lost their way with this one, and I don't know what it is. They tried something with a new foam, but it just didn't come off. Not a great review for me, but they're my thoughts. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.